Mi gente, you already know who it is. It's Danny Limelight. And I need all of you to subscribe to According to Woods podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and all other platforms.
What's good, party people? This is According to Woods, and I have the honor and privilege of talking to my friend. He is a four-time champion in two divisions, including that of the California state title. He's the one and only Christopher Cruz, better known as the Constrictor. Chris, what's going on, my man?
Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing? Good.
Good to have you here, man. It's because we originally did this, and then technology is all bleh, whatever, and then but now
It
we're
was
doing it
going
again.
so well. It was going so well too, man. We got into it in a lot of topics, um, how it started fighting, we were all freaking trying to find our own little, side gig and stuff. The Dinkin family, all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I for those who didn't catch that, we'll definitely go right back into it. But man, this is crazy because I mean, when we first met and became friends, I think we had followed each other on social media, but we hadn't met up until a fateful day at a Knockout Promotions card, and you were encouraging me to come down. And at the same time, I had gotten credentials from the McKees, Antonio and AJ, as well as Tracy Hess. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to go down. And then it was an added value. You were fighting on the card, and it was just all types of zaniness. There was a crazy call that happened in your fight. Then when we did the interview outside of the Metroflex in Long Beach, you were wearing a shirt that had basically a logo of somebody that was like doing this whole lawsuit and everything like that, and they threatened me and was like, oh, we're gonna take your video off of the air, and I was just like, what? And that was literally it.
Yeah, hey, that interview blew up, man. That interview blew up. It was cool though. I enjoyed it. It wasn't really it went so smooth too. You get me? Like I think that's my favorite interview I've ever had.
Oh, you're too kind. You're
Yeah,
too kind.
yeah.
But that was probably more you than me. I just kind of like to be the fly on the wall and just do the thing and whatever. So I mean, if it was a good interview, I'm pretty sure it was because of you. And I'm gonna hold that to this expectation. This interview will be as good because it's you again. So how about that?
Nah. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's literally what
Me
one of my
entendí, por
bosses
favor.
what one of my bosses told me right before I got laid off, which is awesome. So I love that
What?
phrase.
Oh, teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah, and then literally walking into the next room and like, oh, the company gets bought out and we all don't have jobs.
Hey, bro. You know what? Look, I'm gonna tell you something. I got laid off too, and I'm living my best life right now, bro.
Yeah, and that's the thing about turning a negative into a positive, and especially after the last year that we've had collectively, not just as like people, but like as a country, as a world. Just like
Yeah,
everything was all bleh, like basura, just complete choro,
yeah.
right?
Like this internet, bro.
Yeah.
Never.
Oh, if you think that's it, you should see the one with Josh Barnett. It can be sketchy at times. I'm just
Oh,
saying,
really?
But shout out to, or not shout out, whatever the opposite of shout out is, to Charter
Yeah.
Spectrum, because like again, so it's Barnett and we live in different parts of LA. We have Charter Spectrum, also Voodoo Maximus, Piacini Lolobo, the former U of MMA champion. He has Charter in a different part of LA too, and it's all the absolute shit for all of us. So I'm just saying, it's not us, it's Charter. So that's my story.
Yeah. No, hey, but look, like one of the things that you said about last year, that everybody seemed to find like their way to make their own thing work. You know what I mean? Like for me, I really got into uh before I mean I still want to have my sponsors and everything, but I didn't really focus on myself as a brand, you know, like how I gave you credit too because you went and you know you're doing this now, like instead of like it's just so hard. You get me? Like we all have to like you know. In my mind, I was thinking like, man, how are a lot of people gonna be doing the thing where like they have even Joe Rogan. I don't know if you've ever seen like his
Of
he had
course.
to you know like him having his guest is like it's sketchy now, you know, like so everybody made it seem to like you could have went and been like, you know what, I'm gonna wait until all the fights start back up, and right now I'm not gonna do much. But then when you come back, people think that you're irrelevant, you know. So for
Right.
me, like any credit to anybody that has tried to make it work with the way the world is now, you know. Like for me, like trying to make yourself a brand is that's really important. You get me? Like for me, what fighter did I oh, Michael Bisping said that to
Yeah.
use to advise to all the fighters, use this platform to live off of it, you know, like not like to find like Poirier has his hot sauce, McGregor has his whiskey, you know, like I, I'm gonna start a brand of like all natural wipes or something, you know, like out of this.
Dude, I mean, that's the other thing that happened in 2020. You know, people were buying toilet paper and in droves and whatever, but I'd never
Yeah.
seen like more posts about booty wipes, like literally scented wipes for your butt. Because again, you know, it seemed like people were rationing toilet paper, 1 square per wipe, and everything like that. So booty
Huh.
wipes became a thing. Like I remember my wife ordered, she couldn't get toilet paper, she could get booty wipes, and that was like the MVP of like 2020 in our household.
Bro, I love my girl. She has these natural, they're called Honest. They're awesome,
Yes.
bro. They're awesome. They're the best. I love them. Like I'm gonna tell you something. You know where I go a lot? I go to Culver City Stairs a lot.
Okay.
Okay. Have you ever
Yeah,
been to
Culver
there?
City. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right. You
I've
go over
seen it.
there,
I've never actually, you know, with my yeah,
bro. We gotta go.
gordo.
Look,
All right,
let's go, bro. Let's go. Look
let's
and look.
go.
I'm gonna tell you something. And if you have to take a dump, I got you. Don't trip. I always carry my wipes like up a bag, cause bro, one time the homie he went and you know like there was no toilet paper there. And once you go up, you can't come down if you have to use the restroom, bro.
Oh, that's not
Yeah.
a good deal.
Oh no, no, but no, if you have to use the restroom, like you can't, like
Yeah,
you know. So
yeah.
basically, like you know, I'm not gonna say his name and stuff, but you know, he just didn't come back with his socks, you know.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Hey,
You
you know,
know,
but that's what I'm saying. Like you know, me, I'm a person that I the same way I see other fighters do mistakes and stuff. I take life lessons like that too. You know, I'm like, okay, you know what, that ain't gonna happen to me. You get me? I got my honest wife's boom. You know.
yeah, and I mean, when you speak about Honest, right? Look no further. The CEO of Honest is none other than Jessica Alba, right? And she could have just been like, "Oh, I'm going to just be a movie star and do that," but then she ends up having her own brand, right? That is beyond, you know, like if you've never seen a Jessica Alba movie, if you've never seen Dark Angel, whatever, you're gonna have Jessica Alba a part of your everyday whatever because there's cleaners, there's wipes, there's diapers, and everything. And again, not really relying on just the one thing to essentially become your worth.
Bro, I didn't even know that. I didn't know Jessica Alba was the one that made those.
Yeah,
Hey,
honest,
but
honest
hey,
brand is hers.
but back to the topic. Like you gotta find a way to. I want to be known as a fighter. I want to make it as a fighter. But like I'm gonna try to get into commentary. I'm trying to do camo shows after when you know, like um like the referees, you know, like Frank Trigg, Chris Lieben, you know, like
Yeah,
they after fighting, you gotta find a way to kind of like once you make it in something, you gotta use that to like because I can't fight forever, you know what I mean?
right.
You know, so
No, I agree, and that's the thing, and I try to tell and it's weird, right? Because the mindset of a fighter is of that 6 to 8 weeks of training, and you've got your one goal in mind. So to entertain somebody wanting to do an interview, somebody there's a lot of moving pieces that happen, and again, any of those things can detract you from what the focus is, right? Is winning the fight. And again, winning a basketball
Mhm.
game is different. It doesn't have the dire consequences as fighting does, right? Because you might get fouls or whatever and what have you, but like nobody's kicking you in the head
Mhm.
at the rate of speed that people are throwing baseballs essentially, right? So, with that all being said, I think it's
Mhm.
absolutely crucial for fighters or anybody that has a brand. How many thousands of
Mhm.
influencers that there are right now, right, on Instagram, on Twitter, and whatever, they don't even really do anything other than post selfies, and they've made it. Some have made hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, just doing that. Seems like we've lost Chris for a little bit. You back? It
No,
looks
no, no,
like you're.
I'm here. Yeah, I'm back. I'm back.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, yeah. It seems to be a little bit slow, but it seems to be a little bit slow. But okay, now I'm good. Wait, I'm a little bit slow,
y-
but
you're good.
but like I do think it's crucial to like it seems like everybody decided to make their own brand. Yeah, it decided everybody decided to make their own brand in 2020. Like there's so many people out there. Like one of my homies, he's a club promoter, and he started his brand LAX Apparel or something like that. Like it just happens. Like people gotta find a way to make money now. Like and if you have a platform, it's a lot easier for you. Like like I had no idea that Jessica Alba was the owner of that.
Yeah, yeah. There's that, and then there's Gwyneth Paltrow who has Goop. Joe Rogan, none other than Joe Rogan. He'll let it slip sometimes, but he's co-owner of On It, and again, I think that's like the best case scenario because On It sponsors the podcast, and again, basically he's paying himself to promote his own brand, which is the best thing ever.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, like honestly, like I said, like credit to you, man, because like a lot of people uh were doing interviews, doing shows, like doing like podcasts. They're just not around no more. They're just not because they just decided to just rely on the fight game to come back, and you know, like you gotta realize too, not a lot of fighters are gonna come back. Like a lot of these guys are gonna you know just let their careers die off. Like a lot of fighters, I know a lot of fighters are taking this time to train the hardest they've ever done, and that's what I did last year. Like for me, I I wanted to fight all of last year, up until November. Up until November, you want to say hi? Yeah, come say hi. Say hi, okay? Say hi, Adam. Can't see you. You gotta
Hi,
get close,
mamas.
right?
Hi, how are you?
Say hi. Okay, here, let's go. Okay.
Gotta
Just
love
doing
the run-ins.
school time with my wife.
Oh,
She's
that's
home.
awesome.
That's one another great thing. My wife, she does homeschool. She does homeschool and stuff, right? And before this pandemic thing started, she was doing homeschool beforehand. So like my this didn't take a big thing on my daughter's like mind or nothing. But what was I saying about oh, like a lot of fighters like me, that's what I did last year. I took this time to train as hard as I ever did. I wanted to get a fight, well, all up until November, or October. That's when I'm not gonna fight this year. The last 3 months of the year, I was like, I'm not gonna fight this year, so I'm just gonna go and get my money right and train hard. And you know, here we are starting off this year, and hopefully I get a fight soon.
Hopefully. Which I gotta ask, right? So you said starting off the new year, but how did your walk in combat sports begin?
Um, in the beginning, I don't know if you ever remember, like we had smokers before camo. Was really like the main thing. We had these things called smokers. It was like barbecues. People would be selling beer on the side, and like yeah, that's how my first. And then like it was funny because I drove all the way to Hisperia, or I literally have fights in the middle of nowhere. Like one of them was Hisperia, one of them was Lancaster. The other one was where everybody seems to have a cousin, a relative, West Covina, and somewhere else. And then I remember my first four fights. I didn't even wear shin guards. I didn't even wear shin guards. I didn't. Like they didn't check us. Like people, like I remember the guy. He wasn't my coach, but my coach was Evangelista Cyborg, and I had one of the deacons from my church called Joel. He cornered me, and he kind of was just looking at everybody. He's like, "What the heck did I just get this kid into, man? Like, did I just like?" And he was just kept trying to tell me, "Hey, man, like, if you don't want to fight, we could just tell Josh to start the car and we'll run over there and we'll go." Because I was 18. I didn't really think much of it until I started seeing like grown men getting knocked out and stuff like that, and like there was no doctors or nothing. Like so. I had my first four fights. It went well for me. I had four missions, won a title. Then I went to 135, and then I just when I joined Camo. And originally, honestly, I didn't go into it like really expecting much out of it. I just wanted to make jiu-jitsu look cool and MMA. That's it. And to this day, it's still working out for me. So, you know, yeah, and
Now,
it was kind of like that the street beefs and stuff.
which I gotta ask, like, I mean, prior to actually competing, I mean, what was your knowledge as a 18-year-old kid of MMA? Did you watch it on TV? Did you have any favorites?
Um, yeah, I wrestled in high school. I went to Bell High. I wrestled for, I want to say a semester of high school, because um, what are they called? Those people that are in charge of you in high school.
The CIFs or
Not your deans,
your coaches? No.
like the people that talk to what you're gonna do after high school. No, no, no.
Oh,
Like
the counselors.
not coaches. The people that
Counselors.
overrule every counselors. There we go. Well, basically, she told me like, hey, if you don't pick up your grades, you can't wrestle. That's how it works here. And I don't know what. So, I was not a good student. I really wasn't. I remember not showing up to one of my classes like forever, like throughout the whole time I was there. Like I really did not like school. I loved to wrestle, but my grades just didn't. So then I got a school called OFL, and then I got sent to a school called Maxine Waters, where I graduated from. And then one of my friends invited me to jiu-jitsu school that I wrestled with. And then basically like we even started fighting and stuff. But he was like, "Hey, bro, like have you ever done jiu-jitsu?" And I'm like, "Oh, I've heard of it, like, but what exactly is it?" It's like, "Oh, it's like wrestling, but like you have like the karate thing on, and it's cool and this and that. Like you should try it." And then like I went to, you know, and then I went to his school. He choked me out like so many times. And then I was like, "Man, this is pretty cool." Like I used to beat him up in wrestling, and like now this guy's so like good at this. And then when you wrestle and you're good at wrestling, your jujitsu, like let's say you wrestled in high school or college or whatever, and then you're just a brand new student in general. You guys both go to jiu-jitsu school at the same time. You're not both white belts. You know what I mean? There's two different levels to it. So like, yeah, you guys are both white belts in the school, but one of the pin guys down, one of those, you know what I mean? So I got my blue belt fast, and just being good at wrestling, being good at grappling, it just kind of made me fall in love with it, you know. And then literally, I did not know how to throw a punch. I did not know how to like throw kicks. I knew how to kick a little bit, you know. Um, but I literally went my first 4 fights with no striking at all. Like I literally like was trying to just get a hold of a leg, put you down, and choke you, and then it worked out for me for 4 fights, you know. And then and then after that, I had to find a jujitsu school. I kept training jujitsu over for years. Um, got my brown belt eventually, and then that's when I really wanted to like I had some knee injuries and stuff. Then after that, that's when I wanted to go and train like at a local school and stuff because it was too much to go all the way to like you know. So after that, I went to 10th Planet, but not where it is now. Like it was before they used to before it was 10th Planet like headquarters. Now it was across the street, and they had like a cage. They had a boxing ring at HQ. I don't know
Yeah,
if you remember that gym. It was like
yeah,
Tap Out LA.
yeah. And that was
Yeah, and
the
then that's when I started my MMA training. You know,
wow. That's crazy.
I
And
started I
for
started
those,
my MMA there.
and it's weird, right? Because a lot of people
Go ahead.
forget about tap out, right? But theoretically speaking, right, what you're seeing with the UFC gyms now, essentially was the precursor was the tap out because the tap out brand's relationship with the UFC and Mask and Skyscrape, that whole kind of punk ass, the tap out crew, they were so good with Dana that Dana was going to open tap out gyms
Hmm.
in conjunction with the UFC
Hmm.
all over, right? And essentially the first one, the prototype, was Tap Out HQ LA in downtown LA. And then obviously in between that,
Hmm.
Mask ended up
Hmm.
unfortunately passing away. And then the rest of the guys, they sold the Tap Out brand. But essentially what you see, if you have a UFC gym in your area, if Mask Charles Lewis, whose name is on the UFC Octagon, right, and will be there, um, those should have been tap out gyms.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in terms of going to
Oh,
that
give me
tap out,
a second.
so in terms of going to tap out HQ, like what did you learn there that you weren't getting, in the other places that you had trained before? Chris, you there?
Can you hear me, brother?
Yep, I'm here.
Hello?
You're good. Can you hear
You
me?
see me?
Yep.
Back here. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I can hear you. I can see stuff. It's just like making sure that like the reception doesn't die off because I had to take off my headphones. But then go. There we go. You can see me, right? You hear me?
Yep. The whole time.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool.
So, so
But yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm listening.
what type of training that you get at HQ, at the old Tampa at HQ, that you weren't getting in your other places that you were training?
Okay, at H we would do kickboxing with Kathy Long. I don't know if you remember her,
Yeah,
Kathy Long.
absolutely. Kathy Long, yeah, OG.
Kickboxing. Yeah, we'll do kickboxing with Kathy Long. We would do Muay Thai with James Poi Dog. We would do MMA training with Matt Spencer. We would do our wrestling with Coach Rob, and then we'll do jiu-jitsu with Eddie Bravo and his black belts.
That seems like a murderer's row. My goodness.
Yeah, yeah, and that's where I did everything. Like that's where I really that's where I really fell in love with fighting, because like everybody was cool with everybody. Like nowadays, like you gotta go to one gym to train a certain martial arts, and then go to another gym to train something else, and go to another one. That's what I love about Blackhouse, because I get everything there. Train jiu-jitsu a little bit with my coach. And I'm not waiting, but I'm just whenever I can train with Chai, like that's what I do. Because they still haven't opened up 10th and Long Beach ever since it burned down. Well, got burned down.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was one of the tragedies that happened in 2020, where 10 Planet Long Beach, like they weren't doing anything, like that wasn't harmful to anybody. It was like a small business, but and there wasn't any type of like thing. It's not like they had like a wall full of Jordans or something like that people would want to riot and loot, but it got rioted and looted, and it was just like, why? All you got is mats and rash guards. That's like the best you're gonna get if you try to rob this place. And again,
Yeah, it was.
it doesn't.
Yeah, like what happened was they burned down the CVS. They burned down the CVS. Like like a square, right? So they burned down the CVS on one side of the street. Then it burned pizza spot, transferred into a men's warehouse, and then the fire went over to the barber shop in Lambi. So like the fire was huge. Like I know it wasn't like an intentional, like, oh, let's burn down this jiu-jitsu gym, but like like if that seeing that changed my perspective in a lot of things too, because like I could easily getting sucked into burning, but like let's say I'm in, right, and then like something happened, and then they started looting shit, like I could easily see myself walking out with like, okay, let me get these headphones, let me get this PSP or whatever, like,
Mhm.
but why, like just to take just to be an opportunist and take from someone else, like seeing something like that being done to something like to 10th Planet Long Beach, to my coach, who's such a great dude, it pissed me off, and it changed my perspective in a lot of things. Like I'm gonna take part in things that are negative, in life. I'm just not, like I have a daughter, I have too much good things going on in my life, and karma will get you, man. Karma, like I'm not big on, like, I'm not superstitious, but I do believe that some way things are gonna come back to you.
Yeah, it's the ripple effect, right? When you throw a stone in the water, right? The stone doesn't just sink; it sets ripple effects in the water, right? And anything that you do, you, it, I think it's good to look at it from that scenario, where of course it's your whatever you put out there is what you're going to get back, and it might not be there at that moment, but it's definitely going to happen.
You lost me? No, like I can't. It's because I can't hear really much right now.
Uh-oh.
Like you're like glitchy and stuff.
Uh-oh. No, I was saying that it's a ripple effect. Whatever you do, it
Yeah.
comes right back to you.
Keep moving around and stuff.
Yeah. So
Let me see.
h- how's it to be training at Blackhouse?
Hey, you told me that last time we were on the show, because to talk about like Chief Dinkin, and you were kind of sweet lesson on how how their dad was the referee for.
Yeah. So
Remember
David and
that?
Jackie Denkin for those. Yeah, absolutely. So for those that don't know, David and Denkin are two of pretty much the pillars in our combat sports community here in California because David essentially is the lead inspector for CAMO, which is it's the California Amateur Mixed Martial Arts Organization, right? And David essentially is the 1B to JT Steele, who is the owner of CAMO, and that is the organizing body in in California for amateur mixed martial arts, even combat jiu-jitsu, right? So when you look at that, and then Jackie, who also is a inspector for not just CAMO but the California State Athletic Commission, right? Well, their dad, Marty Denkin, um, there's cool things that he means on a pop culture scale because Marty Denkin was essentially the referee in Rocky with I think it was like Rocky 3, Rocky 1. It was the one with Sylvester Stallone and Hulk Hogan, right? But he is essentially the referee for the Hulk Hogan Rocky Balboa match, right? Or Thunderlips Rocky Balboa match, right? But Marty, for a lot of you guys that don't know, David and Jackie's dad was essentially the premier uh, uh, employee of the California State Athletic Commission, and I don't think we would have a California State Athletic Commission, and it would have the regulation that it does if not for Marty Denkin, basically carrying the flag for not just what would become MMA, but definitely boxing.
Hello.
Yep, still here.
I'm walking out the house just so I could get a better and I can hear you better. I don't know if you could hear me better
Oh
or
no,
see me better.
you sound great. You sound great.
Okay. I'm just gonna grab a sweater and I'm gonna stay out here. Cool.
Okay. It, it sounded like somebody was screaming. They might need to get checked out.
Oh no. Well, there's like kids. Huh?
Oh, like
There's like kids out there, and stuff like that. I live in like an apartment complex where you know, they have like their own little playground and stuff in the front. Like I don't know if you can see that.
yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so like it's not in the best of neighborhoods, but at least we could have a watch of them right here. Hey, can you see me better? I
I,
feel like everything is on point now.
yeah, absolutely, hundred
Hey,
percent.
perfect. Hey, yeah. Now I can see you perfect, man.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
in terms of you training at Blackhouse, right? Obviously, the 10th Planet HQ. I mean, I'm sorry, not the 10th Planet HQ, but what was the 10th Planet HQ inside of Tap Out HQ? That changed, but was that the thing that prompted you to go train at Blackhouse, or like how did that all come about?
Well, look. There was literally the same day that we had that interview in 2017. was the same year that I joined Blackhouse. That day I got invited to Blackhouse. You know, so that loss was probably the greatest thing I've ever had. You know, because I got to join Blackhouse from that. They invited me for sparring, for Friday sparring. So for the first, I want to say, month and a half, I only showed up for Friday sparring. So literally, they were just trying to like beat up on me every Friday. You know, like imagine like going through like fighting Chris Thiagos, Vinny Donzani, like all these guys of just like that are just here to hurt you. You know, so I wouldn't go to the classes because I wasn't invited to the classes, and then they after like, hey, bro, we need you to get better, so like start coming to class and shit, you know. And then we didn't have the tryouts. It wasn't like I got invited to the tryouts that they had recently, you know. Like I had to kind of like show up just for sparring at first and give them everything I got, you know. So I got brought in as a training partner, you know. And then as far as like because at that time I was only training at 10th Planet Long Beach. I wasn't training at 10th Planet HQ anymore. So when I got invited to Blackhouse, I just, you know, I feel like I earned my spot there, you know?
No, 1,000%. And what was that day like? Because again, I mean, in your mindset, was that in the cards? Like, essentially, hey, I want you guys to like me. I really want you guys to like me so I can train here because obviously Blackhouse MMA is synonymous for, mixed martial arts. It was essentially Ed Suarez's gift to none other than Anderson Silva just to have a private facility to train at, right? So,
Yeah, yeah.
like, when you essentially get invited, right? I mean, it's one thing to be there, but actually to become a part of the team. Was that gratifying for you?
Yeah, you know what? They don't give a fuck, you know? You could be the nicest person there, they'll fuck you up, you know? And that's, you know, sorry for the language, but, you know,
No, you're
like,
fine. Fuck it.
it was hard, you know? It was really hard at first, you know, because, like, usually I go into gyms and I expect to have the best jiu-jitsu. You know, I expect to be better at jiu-jitsu than everybody. You know, and there we go. Yeah, so usually I expect to have like better jiu-jitsu than everybody. Over there is like a bunch of black belts and shit. You know, um, I expect to take everybody down and have beast wrestlers there. It was really hard in the beginning, so I really would have to show up. I mean, of course I was respectful and stuff, and then like I would tell them like how many fights I have and whatnot and stuff, and then like I don't know, man. Like I got invited through with Daniel Arpajon,
Yes,
who's another state champ, you know. Um, so
two
it just
time.
shows, you know, like two time. There we go, two weight classes too, two
Yep.
weight classes. Yeah, you know. So it just shows, you know, like these guys don't mess around, you know. And when I showed up, I yeah, it was funny because the first day I showed up to Blackhouse, it seemed like everybody from the UFC was there. Everybody from like it was so weird. You get me? Because I saw Lyoto there my first day. I saw Anderson there my first day. Albert Morales, who was still in the UFC at the time,
Yep.
was there. Like and Albert has seen me fight before. You know, like in because he would do commentary for Spar Star every once in a while.
Yep.
Yeah, so basically like they all saw me, they all kind of knew who I was. Some of them, the Brazilians didn't, you know, like, but you know, most of the other guys knew who I was. And then it was just one of those things that like I was just a good body at the time, you know, like like and then I would show up to the classes where I didn't even understand what they were saying, you know, like literally like when I would show up to in the beginning on Tuesdays and Thursdays, it was the striking class led by Pamplona. The only people that were there in class was Miguel Macon, who's the LFA champ,
Right.
Vinny, Shimon, and Mario, and they're all Brazilian. They all talk Brazilian, Portuguese, and I didn't understand anything they were saying. But I'll be like, man, I bet these guys are talking mad shit right now, you know. But like, we would scrap, and it was hard to get me. Like, it was hard because they were all at a different level. But they just saw I had heart, and then I think my heart is what won a lot of the guys there over, you know, like because I would not show up, you know, like now now it's a different but you know, but yeah, you know, like that's just basically it, you know. Like I really do feel like I earned my. And now at Blackhouse, I'm one of their main guys. You know, so for me, I black training at Blackhouse is the best thing I've ever had in my career. Now I'm gonna get a charger quick. Back to
Now,
you, brother.
in terms of obviously, as an amateur in California, the crown jewel is a California state title, right? So, how important was that chase? In terms of attaining that belt, because I mean, you had won a couple of belts for a couple of different promotions, but usually, if you're an amateur here in California, essentially, that is like the tipping of the hat, if you will, to go pro, right? So, I mean,
Hello.
how important was that belt to you? Yo, I was just talking about your quest for the Camo
Can you hear
State
me right
title.
now or no?
Yep, 100% the whole time. Can you hear us? Uh-oh, what was that? Yeah,
Okay,
no,
I
I,
can hear
I
you.
was
Someone hear you now.
I was saying, what was the importance of your quest for the California state title? You had already won a couple titles in your career up to that point, but I mean, the crown jewel here in California, if you're an amateur, is that California state title. So, I mean, you had a couple of title shots before, but like, lead us up into training there, and then all of the ducks in the row are falling into place. You're training at Blackhouse, you're getting good rounds, you're training with UFC caliber fighters and legends. So, I mean, how important was the chase for the title and then ending up actually winning it?
Um, the title it wasn't like I had to do it in order to go pro. It just felt like the right thing to do, you know, like because how are you not pro ready if you don't have that title? You know what I mean? Like you don't
Right?
go and just win the state title and are like an average fight. Like my bad. Can you hear me, brother?
Yep, absolutely.
You
The
can hear
whole
me?
time.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not you have me in the mailroom right now.
Uh oh.
No,
Yeah.
you're
So,
good.
I
You're
mean,
good.
how
No.
important was that win?
It was really important. I couldn't lose that fight. I couldn't, like, especially against the guy that honestly, this is not me talking shit. This is not me calling anybody out. I mean, like, I know these guys. I'm eventually gonna fight guys like Rick Zalata and stuff like that, or Gilbert Nakatami, and like that guy that won it after Trevor Wells. Who was that other guy that won the state title before me from Team Quest?
Team, what? I mean, wasn't it Trevor Wells? Yeah, Trevor
No,
Wells.
it was Trevor Wells. Then it was Gilbert Nakatami. Oh no,
Uh,
um, uh, he's another
I'm
guy
like,
from Team Quest.
Jesus.
He beat
I, I have his name because he competed for Fighters Rep as well. God, and it'll come to me as soon as like we're
no,
off air.
he didn't win the fighters rep belt. He won he beat Rick for the state title.
Yeah. God, it's got he's got it's a unique sounding name.
Yeah, he has a couple belts too. He has a couple belts. Um,
Gosh, what's his?
the money.
I forgot his name. God, and I've interviewed him
Yeah,
too multiple
yeah.
times.
Well.
Like,
Anyways, him. You know.
yeah,
I know how to face all those guys. and like I want to, because but back to what I was saying is that I wish my state title fight would have been against one of those guys, because I feel I felt the difference in training. I felt the difference in like strength. I felt the difference in levels between me and the guy I beat for the state title. Like I just saw it, and then like it was kind of disappointing because I like aside from him hitting me in the nuts, I feel like he had no real punishment on me. Like so. I mean, no disrespect for that to that guy, but like I really wanted to get like I know a guy like Cody Davis will bring the fight out of me.
Yeah.
Like I know those guys. Like I said, me mentioning their names is not me mentioning like their names in a disrespectful way, but I know I'm gonna fight those guys, and I know they know it, and those are the fights that excite me, fights like that, fights that like that I know that their coaching staff is up there, like Chad. I love Chad. I have huge respect for Chad Jordan. I know CSW has a bunch of monsters, in my weight
Yeah.
class. So for me, like those, like I'm not a guy that's gonna be over here, patting my back for beating some guy that like I knew I could have beat. Like, and at the same time, I'm not a guy that's not aware of like I know who's out there. I know who the sharks of the weight class are and who the guys aren't. So for me, like
Mason Icobellis, right?
huh?
That's the name. Is it Mason
Yeah,
Icobellis?
that guy.
That's it. Yes. Sorry, Mason. Sorry, Mason. My bad. I
Yeah,
forgot.
no, example, like okay, like those guys, I know those guys train hard, you know, and that just makes me train harder. Like I'm not a guy that's scared to mention other guys' names in interviews or anything like that because of like, oh, I'm gonna be giving them a free shout out, or like there's some guys like that. Like for me, I know a lot of these guys know, because I know Trevor Wells became a matchmaker at some point, right?
Yeah.
And Trevor Wells, he hit me up, and then I'm like, oh, like I answered the phone. He sent me a text, and this was before the state title came about. He sent me a text, and then he's like, hey, like I was wondering if you could match, I could match you up at one of our shows, blah blah blah, this and that. And then I was like, hey man, like, look, I would love to go fight for you guys for a title, cool. But and they were having shows at his gym.
At Team Quest in Temecula. Those are, yeah. Dan Henderson's gym at Team Quest out in Temecula. They were having amateur shows.
Yeah, and then I
Um,
told him that like I wasn't interested. I mean, I told him I was interested if they paid me to go all the way over there. And they're like, "Oh, bro, like I mean, I could make your fight a title fight, but I can't go and pay you guys because I'm like, yeah, bro, like I'm not trying to travel all the way over there for nothing and stuff." And then I just told him that, okay, well, cool, like I hope he didn't take it the wrong way. Like I told him that, like, no, like I'm not and keep doing what you're doing. You're a great fighter and blah blah blah. And then he just told me likewise, like, and this is someone that I don't follow on social media. We don't follow each other. We don't talk to each other. We've never. That was probably the only conversation we've ever had. But we both know exactly who we are. And that to me just shows, like those are like I know he knows that there's a guy that I'm out here, and like vice versa, like for me, I know eventually me and Riggs Delata are gonna fight, you know, which is a great fight, like that's why I really thought I was gonna fight for the state title, like that's why I really thought I was gonna end up fighting. It's because we're both like Sparstar loves Riggs Delata, like and rightfully so, man. Like the guy's a beast. So, you know, for me, like right now, past the whole state title stuff, unless I get to fight for the one you have, because the one you have is special.
oh yes, that is. I mean, I think that's one of the version ones. That
Yeah,
was actually Brooke Mayo's 135, the first women's bantamweight title in California, and that was won at Chris Cyborg's I think it was Get Down Fights Genesis in Long Beach,
Yeah.
and that I don't even think they make those in that design anymore.
Don't. You got a piece of history there, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, boy, don't I know it. Let me actually break this thing out. This is, and
Hey,
this means a lot to me. Here we go. For those who don't know what we're talking about the California state title and camo, right? There's a little bit of glare and sheen to it, but this is essentially the crown jewel of California MMA. And this means a lot to me. Not only was it a part of history, this is the very first women's bantamweight title. It happened on Chris Cyborg's show, who's arguably one of the greatest women's fighters of all time. But
greatest.
I,
Go.
yeah, I mean, it's her. It's 1 and 2, her and Amanda Nunes, right? But with that all
Well, look,
being said,
Amanda. I mean, she beat everybody. Okay, she beat everybody. She beat Ronda. She beat Cyborg and stuff. But I feel like she's still making her name. As one of the greats. You know. But Cyborg, she's
yeah,
up there, man.
she's no,
I mean, Cyborg.
definitely no. Go ahead. You were saying with Cyborg?
No, like Cyborg, she has every belt in every major organization. You know what I mean? Like, so you cannot, like, like for me, you cannot like. There's no number one. Like, there's
Right.
just those. When you reach that level, you're. Like for me, I don't think I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this. I don't think Connor's a goat at all. You know,
I wouldn't say
like for
the
me,
greatest. I would say the highest paid
hold on.
fighter of all time. Well, not all
But
time. Not even that.
has he ever? Never, he's never defended one of the belts he's won.
Right. 100%. But
So for me,
I see. I
I'm
wouldn't.
a
I would.
Connor.
I wouldn't say Connor is the greatest of all time, right? Especially when you've got, in just MMA, right? I mean, if we're talking about greatest fighters of all time, right? You got to include everybody from every combat sports there are. You got to include Ali. You got to include Tyson. You got to, and so many lightweight fighters. Chavez Senior, Tommy Hearns, Roy Jones Jr. That they have to be in the conversation as well. But what I can say is Connor is the highest paid mixed martial artist that there ever has been.
Oh
It's
yeah,
never been.
yeah,
Yeah, there's. So I'll
yeah.
take.
If you're talking
I mean,
about
if it were me,
talking money,
I would take a dip on greatest of all time to
there's
have
no one
a
better.
few extra.
In man.
Yeah, just so you guys know, I would take a dip. I would fall to number 3 or 4 on greatest of all time lists to get an extra couple zeros behind the decimal. I'm just saying. So you could be the greatest of all time and be remembered, but you have your bank account not reflect it, right? Or you could go and, like Chris said, not defend your title, but do a bunch of stuff that lifted the name of MMA, like fighting a Floyd Mayweather, getting $100 million, starting your own
What's up,
production
bro?
company in Mac Life, and then
Hey,
doing
brother,
proper 12 whiskey. So I'm just
can you hear
saying,
me?
I don't know. Yeah, the whole time.
Yeah. Hello.
Yep, you're here.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right. All right. Cool. What was the last thing you said?
I said I would take a dip. I would gladly, if I were a fighter, and again, I am not, right? I would take a dip. I would sink down to number 3 or 4 greatest of all time hypothetical list, right? To have an extra couple zeros in my bank account. That's just me. So in terms of highest paid
Yeah,
mixed martial artist that there is, Connor absolutely is, and a
yeah,
lot of that money didn't come from
yeah, yeah, yeah,
MMA.
yeah.
So that's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
you could call me
Hey, hey,
a
you
a,
know
a,
what? You know what?
a sh-
You said it. You said it. You said it exactly. You said it exactly how I said. Yeah, you're 100% right. I'll take the dip too, bro. I'll take the dip too.
yeah, all day, all day. Meaning
Hey, bro.
that for one fight I could essentially pay for my kids' tuition for college. One fight. All right. I'm not the greatest of all time. That's cool.
That's fine
you
with
know?
me, bro. That's fine with me. Hey, I'm just I'm not. Dude, you know what? Uh, you know what? What's her name? Heather Hyatt. One time I was at the MMA event show, MMA event Inks. She was talking to me, and then I just told her that I'm just in it. I told her I'm just in this because I want to make money, and she's like, "Honey, this sport it's not about like you don't make it until you make it, you know, like
Hmm.
meaning like George Masvidal didn't become a star until him kneeing Ben Askren, you know, like
Yep.
and but I guess what she did notice is like I told her like I'm not interested. I know I'm not in it for the money as far as like I love this. I love I I don't I mean I would be doing this just to do it if there was no money involved, you know. But in reality, I'm in it because I want to give my wife my daughter the opportunities I never got, you know. Because I know I can, you know. I know I feel like I really do feel like I could become a star in this sport just because of the way I talk, the way I, present myself, and I know how to fight, you know. So I feel like I got everything going for me as far as that goes. Also, like I feel like I have a decent following for an amateur MMA fighter. So, all of that, you know. Hey, but show me
No,
that state title again. Show me that state title again, though.
this one here. Oh,
Yeah,
this one.
yeah. Hey,
Shout out to
honestly, it's nicer than the one I have. That's for sure.
it. I mean, when Brooke Mayo, and shout out to Brooke the Bully Mayo, Bellator veteran and first California State bantamweight women's champion, when she was just like, "Hey, would you think about?" And I was like, "I'm done. Yeah, that's it." And she even inscribed it right here. I said some really cool stuff. You can't really see it. The glare is whatever, but I mean, it's something
Yeah.
that I will forever cherish. But also, why this belt is special to me is also out of all of like the MMA media people that there are, photographers, podcasters, interviewers, and what have you. To me, I feel like I was raised up through camo, where you know I was getting snuck into shows,
Hmm.
before I even had credentials, by David, by Jackie. And I think I could say that now. There's some years have passed, but they stuck me. Victoria and Victoria Hernandez and Elizabeth Stump Lubo. Like again, they stuck me into shows. Chopper and Nancy Contreras, shout out to them. And
Oh, I
I
love
feel
them,
like,
man.
yeah, absolutely love them. But I mean, if not,
Everybody in that list is awesome, man. You know, like
yeah,
they're people I feel like I grew up with in this
yeah,
uh in this game. You know, like they all saw me in my struggles. You know, they all saw me like you know tearing up after fights and all that in the beginning. You know, so
yeah. No,
shout out to them. You
absolutely.
know,
Shout out to Camo and everybody that represents them. But yeah,
yeah.
I mean, for me, I'm the first. I feel like I'm the first, like, kind of media personality that was actually raised up through Camo. That
Mhm.
like worked the shows consistently and what have you. And I will forever be indebted and grateful for the opportunities that I've gotten and still continue to get because of those times and you know their belief in me that I could do the job.
Yeah, and no, you definitely can, bro. And you know, you definitely get like you don't give yourself enough credit for what you do, you know. But we all recognize, man. Like honestly, like um, you know, like you're one of the people I really look forward to seeing at the fights and stuff. Like because we don't get to. Hey, we still haven't went. I found this new sushi spot. All
Really?
right. Yeah. Look, it's literally right there by Blackhouse. Next time you go to Blackhouse, let's go, bro. All right.
All right.
It's you can't eat there, but we could take the food back to Blackhouse. It's that close.
Okay.
Yeah, bro. Like
Sushi at
honestly,
Blackhouse. I think I'm
sushi at
in.
Blackhouse.
It's not bad.
Hey,
That's that's better than
sushi at
any like.
Blackhouse.
Yeah, I mean that's better than any Wolfgang Puck Spago or whatever. I mean, literally,
Yeah.
stand in the halls at the in the walls that literally legends built. So, yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, let's do that. I think that
Yeah.
might be.
That's better than eating at no sushi joint. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Nobu and all that jazz.
Yeah.
They can take a pass to sushi at Black House. Yeah, my
Yeah.
man.
No. No, it's funny because my coach showed me that spot,
Really, which
and my
coach?
coach he knows good sushi.
Which
Look,
coach?
I don't know what the place is called. Oh, come on, maybe I have
No,
a
but
business card.
which coach?
Juan Gomez,
Okay, the Brazilian Samurai.
Brazilian,
Shout out to the
Brazilian
Brazilian
samurai.
Samurai.
Yeah, he showed me that spot. So bomb, bro. Like, oh, I don't know if you've seen my story recently. Me and Romero went to go eat sushi there, and
Really?
you see me eating like you see me with my chopsticks. I'm picking up my sushi, and you see the Black House logo right behind me.
That's not bad. That's a product placement. Just saying, you know.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's super bomb, but yeah, and some sushi at Black House, all right? It has to
There we
be
go.
it has to be soon, like I'll tell the boys.
All right, for real, for real. No,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take you up on that offer once everything kind of clears up, man. But obviously, dude, there's been so many people that have been integral to your career, not just professionally but also personally. So let's get some shout outs out of the way. Family, sponsors. Let's go ahead and give them their just due.
Okay, I'm gonna start off with Lefty from On Broadway Tattoos. He's one of the people that I grew up with. I remember going to his tattoo shop when I was like 14, trying to get piercings and stuff, and he'll be like, "Nah, man, bring your aunt or something," you know. Um, Sean from Our Life CBD. Sean from Our Life, he's such a blessing in my life. I really just got some product from him, and it was much needed. Like I was really like hurting at the time. My wife and my daughter, for always keeping me motivated. They're the reason why I do this. My coaches, Juan Gomez, Brazilian Samurai, Kenny Johnson, wrestling. Um, just everybody, like I can't just think in the top of my head everybody, but everybody that knows their involvement with me, I just thankful. Thank you, Adam, for having me on the show. Thank you for everything you do. Like you're awesome, bro. You're awesome, and I love everything about you. I love everything that you do, and keep it going. Like I said, when this whole thing blows off, like trust me, you're one of those people that like has stayed consistent with this sport, and it's a thing to do. So thank you for your involvement in my life. And you've given you've came to me in bad times where I'm like and have kind of like helped me come back from losses and stuff. Like words, your words don't go unheard.
I love you too, brother. Like this is the thing, and this is it. Like if you're a fighter, that would be cool. If you're not a fighter, cool. We're brothers at this point, like that's the thing. And whatever I can do to help my family along, like I know your wife, I know your daughter. Like to me, I can't just see you struggle and not help in some way, even if it's just words, They say, sticks and stones and words and whatever, but words do mean a lot
Yeah,
if you mean well by it, if you mean what you're saying. So that's
that's
it. And you've done the same for me.
you know, like like someone else could be telling me something. I'm like, all right, whatever, bro. But Adam, like you mean a lot to me, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you, and I
Oh,
appreciate it a lot. I appreciate what you've done for professionally, and reaching out to me as a friend.
no, man, I love you and your family too. I mean, you guys are some of the people that I just, I will carry in my heart forever, So I just appreciate it. And the moments, I got to be there for almost like 3 out of the 4 titles that you won, and see, and a lot, and some of the losses too, and it's just, it meant so much to me that like you pulled me and Sean from our life and we took that picture because I know what Sean means to me. I know what Sean means to you. Hopefully, I mean the same to Sean, but I know what you guys mean to each other. And for us to share that moment at Sparstar after you winning the title, it was just like I had to try very hard. I bit this part of my lip to try not to cry through the whole damn thing. But there were hugs aplenty when you could still do those things. When you could still hug people, that's what your boy Woods did. I hug the hell out of this guy. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, and thank you for having me, bro. And we look. I'm a hold. Like, I'm literally gonna start like gathering some okay, man. Bro, I'm telling you, there's nothing like it, bro. Like I yeah, I get 3, bro, and I might get 4. There it is, bro.
Oh man, that sounds. And I feel like I'm keeping you, so I don't want to keep you. But for those who haven't already followed you, good sir, on social media, where can they find the Constrictor Cruise?
Okay, it's Constrictor Cruz underscore MMA. Again, Constrictor Cruz underscore MMA. Um, you'll see a picture of me holding a beautiful baby.
That she is.
There it
That
is.
she is. Just so beautiful and has even a more amazing parents in you and Yesenia. So just all my love and prayers go to you guys. Thank you guys for joining us here at According to Woods. And if you haven't already done so, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to According to Woods on YouTube, Facebook, and yes, we're on Twitch. We are on Twitch. So go ahead and follow us there. And you'll get good content like this. I mean, if you don't take my word for it, here's pro wrestler Zeta Zhang.
Hey, this is Zeta Zhang. Make sure you subscribe to According to Woods YouTube.